On the 1st of April 1948, three physicists proposed the new Big Bang theory in the Physical Review journal, but only two of those physicists were real. So what really happened? Come with me and let's find out. Manchi, you ready to find the truth? Let's go! The theory was proposed by Ralph Alpher, George Gamow and Hans Bethe, which came as a surprise to puppet master and failed physicist my great-grandfather, Zweistein Delaney, because he had taught Hans Bethe everything he knew about physics, and that was the first he had heard of Big Bangs. Delaney had also wanted to be a physicist, but had left university without a degree, because he couldn't get the guys to take him seriously. Due to a rare genetic condition, Delaney's body produced hydrogen and helium instead of carbon dioxide when he breathed, so he was explosive and had a high squeaky voice. Super! Well done, doggies! He had made a successful career for himself with puppets, but he was still bitter, especially when he met the love of his life, Molisha Lamb, only to discover she worked for the physicist George Gamow, and he had made her sign an ironclad contract that she would work for him forever. Delaney turned to his friend Ralph Alpher, who loved alfalfa, for help. Alpher was also a physicist, but he and Delaney had worked together in theatre, so Delaney knew he could trust him. Alpher suggested they steal Gamow's chair. It was a special one he was proud of because it was made of physics, and they left a note saying he'd only get it back when he released the lamb. But the old goat Gamow refused, toasting marshmallows over an open Bunsen burner in his office and cackling to himself. Leaving Delaney with no choice, it was time to turn to Hans Bethe for help. Hans Bethe was a comedy science character that Delaney had created for his puppet act, and as soon as Gamow saw him, he fell in love with Bethe's zany antics. He promised Delaney he could have Lamb in exchange for Hans Bethe and Alpher's theories on how a Big Bang under pressure can make up all sorts of stuff. It was a high price, but the lamb was lovely, so they all agreed. Unfortunately, Gamow was still toasting marshmallows, and when Delaney started to hand over Bethe, he made a grab for the puppet, knocking over the Bunsen burner, and the whole office went up in flames. Well, the three physicists survived, and Alpher, Gamow and Bethe went on to write their famous paper. Gamow's career went from strength to strength after that, leading Alpher to also create a comedy science puppet, which he called Dudley. Only Delaney died in the explosion that day. Because of all the hydrogen in his body, he shot up through the roof like a fireball, and his remains were never recovered. Molisha Lamb moved to Australia's Bondi Beach to sell heavy water to surfers, and she says that even now, on some nights, she can see Delaney's burning body flashing past overhead like a meaty shooting star. But sure, that's nothing compared to what happened to my other great-grandfather. Make sure you follow or subscribe, or whatever they call it these days, so you don't miss that story.